This is Dick Antoine from News Talk 1340 KZNG. I'd like to invite you to join me on KZNG Talk of the Town. It's a show where Hot Springs comes to talk. Each weekday morning between 7 and 9, we'll discuss the issues of the day. Plus, we'll have the newsmakers themselves on the air for your opportunity to ask them questions or express your opinion. It's KZNG's Talk of the Town, weekday morning from 7 to 9 on News Talk 1340 KZNG.
Now, Talk of the Town with Dick Antoine on KZNG.
Good morning again, everybody. Dick and Antoine live, Talk of the Town, KZNG 1340, right here in beautiful Hot Springs, where the temperature is going to be about 98 or 99, and the humidity is going to be 147, or feel like that. You know, it's 81 degrees right now, and my garage was 92 when I got up this morning and went out the garage. I got Toby Edwards with me, whose mother was murdered in Hot Springs when she was the sheriff for the sheriff's department in 1976.
That is correct.
And you've been trying to find out stuff since day one.
Correct.
And you were how old?
47.
No, back then.
About 6.
About 6 years old. On the phone with her, we have Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah.
Say your last name.
Nawojczyk.
I screw up Smith, so I'm sure the devil can't hear that. And Steve is a retired coroner. Is that right?
Right, yes.
Okay. For people that don't know much about this story, Steve's mother was murdered. The body was, sorry to say it that way, but she was found in Hot Springs County.
Correct.
And for some reason, with all the new DNA tests, and Steve will be able to tell us, you can't get her body
Exhumed?
exhumed. Is she buried in Hot Springs County?
No, sir. She's right here in Garland County.
Okay, Steve, why can't he just go down and have her assumed?
Exhumed.
Well,
Exhumed.
it was Toby's mother that was killed.
Right.
Not mine.
No.
But anyway, you actually, with the period of time that's gone by, and without having, I'm still waiting on some documents that I've improvised, a lot of documents actually, and when I get to see exactly what was there, then we'll be able to compare and see if the technology would even offer any sort of evidence. So, and it all depends on what happens at the time. Now, I understand I'm reading through volumes, literally tens of thousands of pages of files now, and it's not our intent, the production company, to relitigate or reinvestigate this. It's really just to sort of examine the overall where everything is, why it stalled, if it has stalled, is it still an open case. Those are the sort of questions that we're pursuing, and certainly the explanation would be a big part of looking at, and now I'm speaking just from my experience, and I also understand that this would all sort of be left up to the prosecutor.
Sure.
Where this occurred. So at any rate, that your question is legitimate, and yes, that will be something that will be carefully examined as why the explanation didn't occur, and what if anything now the explanation would show. And I've already contacted a couple of leading forensic experts to talk a little bit about that.
How did you get involved with this case?
Well, it's kind of crazy. To answer your question directly, a production company that I worked with before contacted me. Ironically, they saw the LindaEdwards.com website, and not even realizing that I did have a little bit of knowledge about the case, because at the time, in '76, when this happened, I did have some knowledge at the very beginning of the case, because I was county coroner in Garland County. Now, what occurred was, and my involvement in this as a disclaimer, was that when the remains were found, they were primarily skeletal remains, and the sheriff at the time, Leon Barlow, called me and came and met with me and actually brought some of the remains and wanted to know if I could identify them as being human. And my limited skill set was that I yes, I thought that it was indeed human, but I called one of the leading orthopedic surgeons in town at the time, Dr. Stuart McConkey, and I called Dr. McConkey, and we took the evidence to his house, and he was able to tell us that it was indeed a white female that was within the age range of Kobe's mother, Linda, and so that was sort of my interest and then, or my involvement, and then of course it was determined that the remains were in Hot Spring County, so my official involvement in the case has ended at that point. Now the irony is in all of this that when the production company contacted me, they said, "Do you know anybody that was around?" I said, "Well, I kind of know everybody involved in the case."
Yeah, the sheriff and everybody.
Every single person. I worked with them as the coroner, and I had and I still have a great deal of respect for a lot of those guys. But I'll tell you, and one of the things that people will have to understand during the production of this is that, like I said, it's not a re-litigation, it's not a re-prosecution, it's just an examination of the case, the evidence that exists currently in the case, and to try and give, if there's anybody who wants to give more information about it, to give everybody an opportunity to talk. And, how long has it been, Toby? 42 years now?
Well, just about.
But my question is, with all the new DNA stuff that has surfaced in the last 10 years, why would the prosecutor over in Hot Springs County not say, it's unsolved, they don't know who did it for sure, everybody could say no, but why wouldn't you say, well, let's get a closure to this case, let's get it brought up, and let's find out what we find out. Why do we have to do all this other crap? Excuse me.
Well, I think that the prosecutor is taking a new look at things. I think that I actually have had a preliminary conversation with the prosecutor, and she realizes and agrees with me. You mentioned a minute ago, I've been around death investigations for a long time, and I've made a lot of family notifications, and I know a lot about what goes on. And one thing that when I was chatting with the prosecutor about this production that we're working on, she and I both agreed that for Kobe and for the rest of his family and for all of the families of every homicide victim, whether they're solved or unsolved, there is never, ever closure.
Right.
Closure is a word that was sort of invented by I don't know who, but there will never closure when a parent, especially, is murdered or taken away from a child, or vice versa when a child is taken away from a parent. So that's sort of the attitude that this piece is going to have, and it's going to. Frankly, I've already read thousands of pages, and I've seen a lot of the smoke screen and the red herrings and all of the things that went on during the time, and I think it just points to the nature of the community at the time. And another thing that we chatted, that prosecutor and I chatted about was that it's not going to be an examination of the fault of the investigation, because I can tell you, having been involved in investigations back at that time, things are light years ahead of how they used to be. And like you mentioned about DNA. But to directly answer your question about DNA, Dick, we have to know what was there. There will be an expensive law. I think the county would have to bear that, and that might be an issue. But I think that from my initial, from just a short conversation I had, and we have a follow-up meeting scheduled with the prosecutor, I think she's interested in, let's say, terminating this case, not bringing it to closure, but figuring out a way to terminate it. And
does it terminate and get answers?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I think you'd have to speak, I can't speak for her, But I will tell you that she's very interesting.
Does Tony get to come to the meetings?
That would be up to her. I don't know that I'm going to have many more meetings with her, but that would certainly be up to her because, it would be her call meeting. But I certainly wouldn't have a problem, and unless, she has something that she says not to share, because I think what I'm going to have is I was told I'd be expecting 6 file boxes, banker's boxes full of this file. Now that, that's a lot of file to go, but right now they're being digitized. So that'll be the very beginning. You cast some good questions out, and one of the things that I want to encourage people to do, and anybody involved that has information beyond, what's already been brought to light, and I got to tell you, Tony has just kept.
Well, you're talking about a guy that's kept it going.
It's this kernel of this sort of kernel of this investigation is eating at him his entire life, and I can't say that I understand it fully, but I think that more than a lot of people, I can empathize with what he and everybody that's involved. And the sad thing about this is it literally rocks the very foundation of the law enforcement community, which was at the time, a very tight, close-knit community.
And corrupt.
This event was like a tsunami, and it pitted friend against friend, and it made everybody suspicious of everyone else. I mean, it's a mystery novel or a mystery movie waiting to be written, and it's a documentary that is just that will just be an examination of how things were and how things are now, and that's what it is. And it's not an axe to grind piece. The facts are already out there. The evidence is out there that's out there. The record is there. The official public documents are there, and we'll have all of that. But we want to go beyond that, and perhaps after 42 plus years, somebody wants to talk, because frankly, cases are solved one of 3 ways. All right, you have either physical evidence, all right, or you have witness statements, or you have a confession. Now, in this case, there is a lot of witness statements. There's very little physical evidence that we know of. Beyond what's said and a few things. I think there's a lot of evidence still missing. But the third thing is confession. And of all of those, prosecutors want physical evidence.
Right.
So,
well, that's up to you to find all that stuff.
What, up to me?
Yeah, well, you're going to do the examination. I mean, you know all this stuff.
Well, I'm just sort of, I'm not, like I said, I'm not invested. My capacity in this case is really more of a fact find, finding out what's happened now. And of course, I do have the ability to know sort of when it comes to the science of it, the forensics of it, and all of that. I will be able to add a little bit to it, and I think that's why they contacted me.
Yeah.
So, this is probably the last major project that I work on in my career, and it took me about 3 or 4 days thinking it through whether I wanted to, because like I said, I know everybody, and I was encouraged by some of what I've already found out, that some people are willing to talk, and some people are willing to take a fresh look at it. So, and another thing is there's a university journalism program that expressed an interest in maybe signing on as co-producers, and that would give me, lots of free help.
Good.
College seniors that are interested in looking at a story like this. So, and once again, it's an examination of facts, and it's fast becoming a case that will only be left to memory as more and more people that actually have information or were still around leave this earth.
All righty. I got to take a break. I'm going to let you go. Do you mind if we check back with you as this thing progresses?
No, that'd be fine. And listen, do me a favor. Let me give out an email address for
Okay.
anybody that wants.
Sure.
It's Linda, it's very easy. It's Linda Edwards Project at gmail.com.
Gmail.com, okay?
So that's Linda Edwards Project at gmail.com. And any emails or any information I sell, I'll guarantee their anonymity if that's what they desire as projects goes along. So
Okay.
I appreciate it. Sophie, it's good talking with you, and Dick, good chatting with you.
You too, Steve. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
We're going to take a break. Be back in just a moment on Talk of the Town. We're visiting with Toby Edwards, whose mother was murdered in 1976. Let's give a little backstory. Everybody knows who did it, supposedly, right?
Correct.
And the sheriff, I even had Barlow in here, a couple of years ago.
Yes, sir.
He knows who did it. They just can't prove it.
Correct.
So what we're trying to find is DNA evidence. The body she was murdered here, taken to Hot Springs County on a mountain,
Jack Mountain.
Jack Mountain, and disposed of, left in the woods. How long was it after she passed away that they found her?
They found her skeletal remains 6 months after.
6 months, just by
Wolf hunters. Up when they were out hunting, and they ran across a bone, and then they found some scattered. So,
so didn't even dig a grave.
correct.
Just no. Okay. And we're not going to name who you think did it because it's not proven. So, but and he was a sheriff officer.
He was a lieutenant at the police department.
Oh, at the police department, not the sheriff's office. Okay. And she's still alive.
Correct.
Okay. So we're trying. Have you talked to him?
No, sir.
Haven't run across him? Didn't look up and maybe comes walking down the street?
No, sir.
Because you probably hit him. But you've been stymied since day one when you got old enough to start investigating, trying to look into it, because the prosecuting attorney in Malvern said no.
And he didn't exactly say no, but he didn't exactly say yes.
And you said, I need to bring the body up and we need to check stuff.
My sister and I signed the exhumation report in approximately 03.
03, so that's 03, that's 15 years ago.
Correct.
And they said, fine, we'll do it.
At that time.
And what happened when you gave them the papers?
Well, Mr. Garrett told us that it would take a few months, but they would send the papers over to Garland County to let them approve, since that's where the remains are buried, is here in Garland County. And so we waited a few months and then called Mr. Garrett back. And he said the paperwork was still over at Garland County. So we thought, okay. So we waited about another month and then we called Mr. Garrett back and he said the paperwork's still over in Garland
So
County.
you went and looked for it.
So called Garland County and they said no. We've been waiting on the paperwork because we're going to sign it and send it right back with them. And when we called Mr. Garrett up and told him that,
Never got it.
he never got it, he said, I'll get to it when I get to it, and hung up.
15 years ago.
Correct.
And then what happened?
No return phone calls.
Did he go over and sit in his desk?
No, I would have they probably would have said I was trespassing or something.
In his courthouse. Good morning, caller on that with Toby.
Yes, sir, and I really sympathize with the situation. If you just know that you spent this solution, I don't know, but what if you start the whole process all over again?
Well, it would have to start with the prosecuting attorney. Other than that, I think that's what Steve's
Doing.
trying to do, and with the new prosecutor
She was just elected in
a couple years
a
ago.
couple years ago.
Is there a higher court in the state that can go over their heads and get this done?
I think I was told at one point in time to try a civil rights, because justice is served, that had to do with, I think, a federal court. I'm not exactly certain about that, but.
Well, I'm hoping that you can close this thing up, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now, you have a blog over here putting this stuff on all the time.
Yeah, I have a website that he said the documentary. Sorry, company read, but it's lindaedwards.com. It's a lot of hard work.
You update it every week.
Well, as I get information in,
Have they getting any information in the last, because we talked, what, a couple of years ago?
and it hasn't really been, but I just post every day on Facebook and stuff and Twitter. I just try to get somebody, to look, listen. Yeah. Apparently, some of that is.
Something's happened. Because Steve, it sounds like he's got some people that, whoa, wait a minute, because he knew everybody back then. All right, we're going to take a break against, while Toby gets his composure back, and we'll have him in for about 10 more minutes, and we'll open up the phone lines and talk about anything else you want to talk about. But this is very emotional, but this is the first time in 10 years that you've got some hope.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see if I can see if we can keep it on trucking. So we're going to keep you updated too. So we'll be back in just a moment on KZNG 1340 and 105.5 FM. KZNG 1340 and 105.5 FM. Toby Edwards is my guest. We're talking about a case that happened in 1976 here in Hot Springs, where your mom was having an affair with a police officer. He was married.
Correct.
And that's probably what all happened. He came and picked her up one night, and she didn't come home.
Correct.
Is that what you remember?
One of the last nights I remember was the night before she disappeared, for a couple days. Was we were in the Piggly Wiggly parking lot. Well, what was Piggly Wiggly?
On Park Avenue.
No, sir.
Oh,
On the 7270 split, Airport Road.
Oh, I didn't know there was. That's a long time.
A long time ago. And he pulled up in his car, and they proceeded to argue about the right to. What happened was he wanted her to have an abortion, and she did, and that was the long. Correct.
Okay.
And when she said this baby has as much right to live as anybody else, I turned to him and I said, Mom, are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? And essentially that broke up the argument, but because she said, I can't do this with the kids in the car, we'll have to meet somewhere else.
And then that the next night?
Apparently.
Okay. And then she didn't come home?
Correct.
And then that's when everybody knew something happened?
Well, it was Saturday night that she left. That was the last night I saw her. We were in between houses, so we were living with one of our friends. The next morning, we were supposed to go to Sunday school, and my dad was supposed to pick us up from Sunday school. Well, my mom was supposed to be back that night, and to wake us up the next morning so we could catch the church bus. And the lady who we were living with, opened up the door because the church bus knocked on the door. And of course we were still in there sleeping, and she asked me, "Where's your mama?" I said, "She never came back."
Come on, Toby, you're on the air.
Yeah, Toby, I'm sorry to hear about all this, and it sounds like a long struggle. I have a question tonight, sir, it's tuned in late. Is there any direct evidence, or is it all sort of circumstantial? Is there something that could get this guy on that people are not, they're overlooking, or they're not willing to look at, or DNA, or anything like that?
Well, that's what Stephen's going to try. He's trying to do, look at all this in a new light, I guess, if you will, to see if there's anything with the DNA. I personally think there is, but, that's my opinion. As far,
Back then, people,
right,
if they killed somebody, they didn't know there was a such thing as the DNA. So there's got to be files and stuff somewhere.
right, as far as if all the evidence was, deemed circumstantial, but what I know of from my side is, the alleged, came back to work and had his billy club reported it missing, and she died of blunt force trauma to the head. He also came back to work with scratches all over his arm, so I would think that DNA would be under the fingernails if that's there. And also the fetus would prove who the father would be.
Right, which they could always say, but that doesn't prove that he killed him. But I think that if they're able to get some DNA or something, that would be a good case. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I just wanted to ask those questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Toby. You're on Toby.
I hear you saying through the radio, and I pray for everything to heal soon. And I pray for you don't have no more crooked government in our county that can help you through those stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, because this is, I mean, you've been doing this for 40-some odd years.
That is correct.
And maybe it'll come to a closure here in the next, probably take a year or so.
Correct.
You're going to have an attorney, you know, you got to have money to do all that stuff. You got to get, do you have any capital that you can help with, or this production company might pay for it all?
Well, would be nice. I mean, but in the past, I mean, if most production companies take over that kind of stuff, and because they want the story and the exclusive rights, etc.
Were you surprised that this production company came? Did they come to you, or did they come to Steve?
They came to him.
Came to him because he showed an interest in it.
Apparently,
Did you know Steve from before?
From Facebook, yes, and then when I volunteered at the sheriff's department, he would come into the juvenile side, but I never did get to meet him in person. We kind of missed each other.
And what do you do now for a living?
I work as an IT supervisor. I work for the Arkansas Community Correction.
Well, you'd think you'd know some of these guys. You know, do you ever deal with any of these and say, hey guys, I need some help?
Well, they mainly do the probation and parole, and that side of it, re-entry into the society.
Yeah, but they know some people on the other side.
They probably do, but I'm so busy. It's just,
They got you running.
we have 60 locations, so I'm all over the state.
Are they all screwed up? You better not say that.
I better not. They keep me busy. Let's put it like that.
You put all the information in and make sure it's all correct, so if somebody's up for probation, their files are ready and all that kind of stuff.
I make sure their network is
Clean.
good, secure, everything. So I have a master's in cybersecurity, so I do my best to make everything secure.
Good. Can you tell me how to open this damn phone? All right, I'm gonna let you out of here. And you'll keep me updated.
Yes, sir.
And we'll get Steve back on as things progress and as he talks to prosecuting attorney in Malvern. Would it do any good for anybody here to write a letter to the Malvern prosecuting attorney and say, hey, we just heard about Toby Edwards and his mom. Would you please consider looking at this one?
Apparently she's already looking at it, but if you want to say, we support,
What's her name, do you know?
I believe it's Teresa Howell, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. But you can also go to the Linda Edwards Project .gmail.com. Is that right? .com?
Linda Edwards Project at gmail.com.
And find out more information about it. Or you can call. Can they call you if they have any information?
And there's a webmaster. The email is the easiest way because I don't always have cell phone service where I'm at. But if you go to lindaedwards.com, there's an email me button, and you should be able to email me, or if you're on Facebook, just look me up, Toby Edwards.
Okay. LindaEdwards.com. All right. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, sir.
It's the only day you get off, huh? You get off on Fridays?
I had to fight for it.
All right. Well, get to work.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, go over to Malvern and take care of that Malvern.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back in just a couple minutes on Talk of the Town.
Now, more Talk of the Town with Dick Antoine on News Talk KZNG.
Well, I hope you found that interesting. Toby Edwards was my guest, and for you folks that don't know much about it, I've had him in a couple times in the last 3 or 4 years, where his mother was murdered by and they know who it is. I'm not going to name who it is, and we have in the past. The gentleman's still alive, but they're going to get him sooner or later. There was Steve helping Antoine Corner. That's what they're going to help. And if anybody out there knows anything, please contact LindaEdwards.com, and you can get a hold of us. There's a link on how to get with Toby.